Welcome to our executive interview series at the UiPath on Tour Public Sector Conference presented by FedScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash, and I'm here with Malcom Shorter, Assistant Secretary for Administration at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Malcom, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I'd like to start with kind of a question a lot of agencies are wrestling with. What are your biggest challenges in building trust in AI and automation within your organization, and what kind of steps are you taking to help overcome them?
Well, I think anytime you do things that involve some sort of a change management, building trust becomes paramount, because if folks don't trust what you're doing, they won't use the systems. So what we've had to do is understand what folks need and then try to ensure that they have it. The building trust piece is simple, because all we're trying to do is make work easier and empower our workforce. And so those are the keys that we've used. Making work easier. What UiPath does for us in automation is takes sometimes what are mundane tasks, replicating numbers and fields over and over in different systems that may not talk to each other, and allow a bot to do that, which frees up my employee to use their talents to do other things. So the other part of that is the whole citizen development piece that we've been using to build trust is, hey, here's a tool. You use it, figure out how this can better help your job. I often joke with the teams about, all good ideas don't start at the top. I just don't have them all. You guys have really great ideas. So we allow them to develop those ideas, put them into perspective, use them. We put governance around them, of course, because you just can't let things just free flow all the time, but there's governance around them. And what we have found is a treasure trove of good ideas and good process improvements.
Well, let's talk about that a little. Can you share some specific examples of where AI and automation have significantly impacted your organization? And maybe what were the key factors that also contributed to their success?
Yeah, I think what we initially tried to do with this, we took it from an enterprise approach, because we wanted to do things that affected the whole entire organization. So the very first thing we tackled, and if you talk to anybody in federal government, the first thing they'll tell you, man, we have problems hiring. We have problems getting onboarding and how that, because many different systems, a lot of them manual. You have to do one before you can do the other. When I get my offer letter, when do I send out the letter for the person to go get their fingerprints? When the fingerprints are done, when do I know I can send for them to start getting a PIV card? How does all of these things? So what the bot has been able to do for us is help us automate that and to bring that down to a manageable system that, once you do X, the bot says you need to do this, and it shoots it off automatically. It doesn't require a person to do it, but it forced us to think through the whole litany of all the things that had to be done and put them in, for a better term, in sort of a process map of how they get done, and use that. It has also helped us in many ways. I talk a lot about USDA is a large agency, 100,000 people, 29 different agencies, 45 locations, national and internationally, and we have a lot of different stuff. One of the things we have are dams. People are like, well, USA got dams? Yeah, we do. But they're mostly in rural areas that aren't monitored. Life safety issues, what happens if they break? We don't know that something bad has happened until something bad has happened. So now we have to figure out, how do we inspect them? That used to be, they were on a spreadsheet. It took someone to go through multiple days of, okay, I think we looked at that one last month or whatever, and it sounds almost arcane to think that that's how it was being done. The use of automation and robotics process automation has been able to delve that down to where we now have a system where a bot will say, based on the seriousness of when was it last looked at? We give it a risk factor. What's the risk factor of it? And when do we need to go look at it again? And that just makes it so much easier. That young man who did that bot, it would take him 2-3 weeks to figure out where they were going to go next. Now it takes him a matter of minutes. He feels empowered. He know he did something. And the thing with citizen developers, when we started that process, and this is when I talk about building trust and making it work, the citizen developer piece is where all the users get to use it. The first time we did that, I was going around asking, hey, would you like to do this? Would you like to be part of this? And, oh, sir, I've got too much going on, this kind of thing. We're on our 4th and 5th iterations, 6th and 7th are standing in the wings. I don't ask people anymore. I got a line of folks. Word of mouth, it works, it helps me, it makes our job easier, and it makes USDA better. That's what this automation process is all about.
That's a fabulous example. Well, Malcom Shorter, thank you for taking a few minutes to join us here at the UiPath on Tour Public Sector Conference.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much for having me.
Sure.